My name's Detective Malcolm J. Carter, and when I'm not running down leads or piecing together evidence on petty felonies, I seem to have a talent for attracting the worst kinds of entitled nonsense. This one particular Tuesday, though, well, it takes the cake. It started like any other dreary morning in Southgate. The sky was that soul-sucking shade of gray that makes you question why you even set the alarm the night before. I was late. Again. Paperwork from the Henderson burglary case had kept me up past midnight, and all I wanted was to grab some gas for my old Ford Taurus and make it to the station without incident. But fate, of course, had other plans. I pulled into the Bayview fuel stop, a rundown little place on the corner of Fremont and Bayside. Swiped my card, started filling up the Taurus. Seen better days, sure, but she's reliable, and tried to zone out. That's when I heard the sharp click of designer heels smacking against the asphalt. Excuse me. I knew that voice before I even turned around. High-pitched, nasal, laced with just enough arrogance to send shivers down your spine. When I turned, there she stood, practically the mascot of suburban entitlement. Her name, I would later find out, was Eleanor Whitmore, but at that moment I mentally tagged her as Karen Supreme. Blonde bob, oversized Gucci sunglasses, pearl necklace, and a pressed pastel sweater vest like she'd walked straight out of a J. Crew ad from 1998. Leaning casually against a pristine white BMW X5, her expression was one of practiced disdain. Yes, I asked, trying my damnedest to keep the irritation out of my voice. She gestured at her SUV like it was some ancient idol requiring tribute. My vehicle needs gas. You're going to fill it for me. I blinked, wondering if I'd heard her wrong. Pardon? I said. She huffed as if I were the slowest child in a remedial reading class. You are going to pump my gas. I'm late for yoga, and I simply don't have time to do this myself. It took a moment to register that yes, this woman was actually serious. I've dealt with scammers, domestic disputes, even the occasional drunk wandering into traffic, but never had I encountered someone so brazenly, unapologetically entitled. Ma'am, I began, clenching my jaw just enough to stay polite. I'm running late myself. You'll need to pump your own gas. Those sunglasses did little to hide the icy glare she leveled at me. Do you even know who I am? I'm on the neighborhood HOA board. I basically run this town. I raised an eyebrow. Well, congratulations on your unpaid leadership position, ma'am. Still not a gas station attendant. She puffed up like a cornered peacock. This is harassment. I'm calling the police. At that, I actually laughed. Please, by all means. Call them. And she did. Right there, standing between Pump 3 and Pump 4 at Bayview Fuel. Eleanor Whitmore whipped out the latest iPhone and dialed 911. Fake distress dripping from every syllable. Yes, officer. I'm at the Bayview station on Fremont and Bayside. There's a man here threatening me. Yes, he's black, about 6 feet tall, wearing a blue button-up and jeans. He's refusing to help me, and I'm terrified. I finished filling my tank, set the nozzle back into place, and strolled inside to grab a black coffee, the only thing darker than my mood at that point. She continued to blabber on the phone, one hand flailing as if she were signaling planes. When I came back out, she was pacing beside her SUV, eyes darting everywhere, still rambling to the dispatcher. He's walking away. You need to send someone now. I fear for my safety. I gave her a friendly wave, climbed into my Taurus, and drove off, headed exactly where I'd been going all along. The police station. By the time I reached the station, I was chuckling to myself. I walked straight to Captain Brenda Lawson's office, saluted lazily, and said, "Morning, Cap. Might want to send someone over to the Bayview fuel stop. Sounds like there's a harassment situation brewing." Lawson narrowed her eyes at me. You involved, Carter? Let's just say I have a strong hunch about the suspect. She sighed, pulled up the call log, and nodded. Karen Supreme, huh? All right. I'll have Officer Jenkins handle it. You? Stay your butt at your desk. Yes, ma'am. But I couldn't resist. After a couple of hours wading through case files, my curiosity got the better of me. I wandered down to dispatch. Any updates on the gas station situation? I asked Kevin, the kid running the desk that morning. He grinned. Oh, it's a good one. Officer Jenkins is still out there. Lady's refusing to leave. Says she wants to file harassment charges. Claims she's suffering emotional trauma because some thug wouldn't pump her gas. I nearly spit out my coffee. Thug, huh? Yep. Jenkins says she's getting louder by the minute. Wants to press charges for endangering a community leader. Community leader, I repeated, grinning. Kevin, patch me through to Jenkins. You sure about that? Oh yeah. A moment later, Jenkins's voice crackled through the line. Detective Carter? God, am I glad to hear from you. This woman's off the rails. Keeps insisting I arrest someone. Listen carefully, Jenkins, I said. Ask her for a full description of the suspect. Get every detail, the car, the clothes, everything. A minute passed. Jenkins came back. Black male, 6 foot. Blue shirt, jeans, beat-up Ford Taurus. Perfect, I said. Now here's the play. Tell her she needs to come down to the station to file her statement formally. Make it sound official, like it has to happen now. Offer her a ride in the squad car. No exceptions. You really think she'll go for that? Trust me. About an hour later, Kevin buzzed me. Carter, you are not going to believe this. She's here. Sitting in the waiting room. And she's demanding to see the lead detective. I smirked. Fantastic. Tell her I'll be right there. I took my time strolling down the hall. There she sat, arms crossed, foot tapping angrily, sunglasses still perched on her nose like a shield against accountability. When I stepped into view, her mouth dropped open. You. I gave her my most professional nod. Detective Malcolm Carter. I understand you're here to file a complaint. She sputtered, visibly rattled. But Budiu Cantayuri the one. Yes, ma'am. The same gentleman you tried to accuse at the gas station. Now, Mrs. Whitmore, here's the deal. Making false statements to law enforcement is a crime. It's called filing a false report. And around here, we take that very seriously. Her face went pale. But I was scared. Scared of what, exactly? A man pumping gas into his own car? Because I wasn't the one raising my voice, Mrs. Whitmore, you were. She glanced around the room, her confidence crumbling fast. So, I said, leaning forward, you have 2 choices. You can sign a formal apology acknowledging that you made false claims, or we can process charges. Your call. The silence stretched between us as the weight of her mistake sank in. Finally, she crumpled. Tool, apologize. Please. I slid a notepad and pen across the desk. She scribbled out the weakest, most half-hearted apology I'd ever seen. But it was enough. Thank you, Mrs. Whitmore, I said, standing. You're free to go. And next time, pump your own damn gas. She scurried out of the station, sunglasses trembling as much as her hands. Later that week, Captain Lawson forwarded me a copy of the formal complaint she'd filed against the department for emotional distress. Lawson laughed so hard she nearly fell out of her chair before tossing it straight into the shred bin. And that, my friends, is how I survived a Tuesday morning Karen attack. Not the biggest case of my career, but absolutely one of the most satisfying.